Hello, YouTube land! Check your clocks because it's amateur rubber time. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we started Rise of the Ashes, the 5th episode, I suppose. We're not quite done yet, and we met some new people. We met a lot of new people. We met Jake Marshall. We met Angel Star. That's our defendant, Lana Sky, and this is her sister, Emma Sky. And Phoenix is just in the middle of investigating. What was the dude's name? I guess the victim. Do we have an autopsy? We do not have an autopsy. But it's like a detective of some sort, right? Yeah, Goodman. Detective Bruce Goodman. He was moited. And now we're just still in the middle of investigating everything, I think. So let's see what we can find. I think we did check the phone last episode. But once again, I tried to start another episode and I went on for too long and everything got lost, so I had to start the whole case over. This case in particular actually does drag out a little bit. It's a bit longer than most of the whole game, so we might have to break this up in sections, like part investigation, part in court, like kind of that type of deal. Because usually what I would do in this game, I would go through the whole thing of like a whole segment. When it hits to be continued, then I would stop. But this one goes on for a bit longer, so we're gonna have to cut it up in little more segments. So I'm just gonna stop talking, just jump right back into this. Leave a like for Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. You know the drill, and let's just get on with it. This is what we had to investigate, right? I did investigate it last episode, but like I said, I had to start over. So instead, I picked this up before I picked up the phone, which is Goodman's note, a victim's memo found in the trunk. It says S-76 or 75 or S, whatever, 12-2, and it has Goodman's name on it. So let's see what this is all about. This looks like a cell phone. Scientific analysis would suggest this belonged to the victim. I can't think of anyone else that it belonged to. What's so scientific about that? Should we check it out? Let's check it out. Right, let's check it out. Alright, I'm not doing this, it's doing it by itself. Cell phone. Used to call them on the cell phone. Ooh, blue button. Alright. What do we got? Anything else? Nope. Blue button. Boop. Now to see who the owner of this phone called last. Note to self, a defense attorney doesn't think first, he just pushes the button. I love those glasses on her. Beep. Alright. Oh, that's a Steel Samurai. Hey, that song. I know that. Hey, what's going on over there? Sorry. I see you, partner. You pressed redial on that there phone, did you? Well, yeah. Whose phone is this anyway? It was on the ground over there. Whose is it? That belongs to Chief Prospector Sky. What? It's my sister's? She apparently dropped it when she was taken into custody right after the crime. Look, the last call was made right here when the murder occurred. Looks like she was fixing to call someone. Except she only spoke for a few seconds according to this. Who did she call? No idea. Sorry, partner. Now, I got a question for you, partner. I heard a phone ring just now. One of those newfangled ringtones. Oh, that? I'm sorry. That was my phone. What? Red Pyro Man is playing West of Loathing. I know that guy. I heard West of Loathing was a fun game. Kind of funny too. But anyway, moving on. What? Your phone? Yeah, it's kind of strange, but someone called me right as we picked up the other phone. The wrong number. I hope you're not lying. They shoot you for that for Texas, partner. Everything you do in Texas, you're gonna get shot for. Let's just not head to Texas then. Uh-oh, I've incited the wrath of the Lone Star Patrolman. Cell phone. Property of Lana Sky. Last call made at 5:18 on the day of the murder. Okay, so I think we actually have to talk to this guy again. Yeah, we do. Okay. So, I think you already know the whole thing about this, so we could just skip everything here. Boo, not listening to a word. Oh, that's where I had to get whatchamacallit. I had to get the autopsy from him. But yeah, let's just keep going. We know who you are, Jake Marshall. We can all just look it up. La-dee-doo, skipping for game. Get skipping in story. Office atmosphere, we know about this. Yeah. Man, I know what, I should have done this before when the, whatchamacallit, before I started the episode, but anyway. Oh, this is new. It's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? That popular TV show for kids. The phone that rang earlier wasn't mine. It was yours. Oh, it was her phone. At 5:18, just after the murder took place, your sister called you, didn't she, Emma?
I'm sorry.
Can you tell me what you talked about?
She hung up right away.
I see. Alright, so property of Lana Sky, last call made to her sister Emma at 5:18 on the day of the murder. Okay. The detective's murdered and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. I've got a bad feeling about this. Like, maybe I still don't know everything that went on here. Oh well. To be continued. Alright. Well, that's it for the episode. We can just end it off here. JK. Let's keep going. Hopefully before it gets too long, you know? February 23rd, 9:34. Man, I gotta wake up early all the time in this game. It ain't fun. I don't even like waking up in real life in the morning. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there's still a lot of gray areas.
Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area.
Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate.
I believe in you, sis.
Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. She's a prosecutor. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. She wants me to defend her, but yet she's already confessed. She does, but she doesn't. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. Poor Mia. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Alright.
Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
Alright. Thank you, Emma. I'm not a Fae, but it's a Sky that's gonna help now. Alright, court time, my favorite.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeworth. Yeah, we helped you out like a long time ago. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since this trial.
I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment is to be made here and in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office's lot.
Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
However, she will now pay her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand.
The cough-up queen? Oh, we're talking about the lunch lady here. Hello.
Haven't I seen you before somewhere?
Ooh, what is that?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Caviar? I never even caviar before.
The judge is really wolfing it down. I wonder how caviar tastes. What is that? Ew, that looks gross.
And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl.
Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and profession?
And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox?
That looks nothing like a fingerprint.
It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please.
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? I don't know, pickles and tapioca? Oh. Name. Profession. Now.
Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating.
Hurry up. My God.
Very well, Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was the first-rate homicide detective. Oh, really?
What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Uh-huh! I know who you are. Cough up?
Cough up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see.
So she's actually a detective.
Very well. You may continue the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here.
Okay. Paying attention.
The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out.
Okie dokie.
Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Okay. Parking lot floor plans. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Got it.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Obviously, Phoenix. Witness's account. What did you see? We will find out.
Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work.
Oh, man. She's looking real scary.
Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Okay.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching.
As you can see, there is no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed at Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Witness's account, cross-examination. Well, I kind of didn't find anything contradictory yet, as of yet. So, what I usually do, bluff it. Press everything. Hold it. How did you know?
I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
That bow was like, I do not care.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if it hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired.
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, so as you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
Okay, so she does have a thing against prosecutors. That was like already considered. She said that before we started court. Boyfriend, hold it. This boyfriend, he's the detective.
Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several.
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying.
The security guard room is in the lot in A block.
Okie dokie.
It's up on the second floor so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I'm a visitor now, I park in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
Okay. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Hold it. What do you mean? You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets, a greenhorn.
The night must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match.
Dang, roasted.
In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
Okay. Through the wire fence, I saw Chief Prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Hold it. By garish car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed with was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed it was. Oh dear. Now there's gonna be a whole bunch of commotion about that.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her.
If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
Oh dear. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. Could you cry, plagiarism?
Dang. Emma is on top with these insults.
I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
Oh dear. That's a picture.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of the criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Crime photo. Oh god, the moment of the crime was photographed by Angel Starr. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Okay. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Well, I don't see any knife in this photo. Yeah, I don't see any knife in here, so objection. And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife.
As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
Ooh, that looks actually pretty good.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
I bet I want it. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? I don't think that worked.
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth.
Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Makes sense. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat?
But this is a black and white photograph. I mean, she did witness it, so could be obvious.
Oh, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You got a better idea? Objection. Just object. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture of the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
What? Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have time to put those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. I guess that's why the knife has no prints.
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder. A serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Hold it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like driving gloves? Driving gloves? That's a thing? The gloves were omitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, mister.
This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that.
Okay. Well, I gotta prove that it wasn't planned, so... How? The photo. I gotta look at the photo again. Huh. Maybe the knife, the murder weapon, usually in a toolbox. Traces the victim's blood. No. Oh. How? Okay, this wasn't planned. I just now figured it out. If you were going to plan a murder, why wouldn't you bring the weapon? So, oh my god. That might be the case, because that was just found in a toolbox. Say if you were trying to kill somebody, which I hope you don't do, because murder is bad. If you were trying to kill somebody, you would actually, and think about it for a while, you would have a weapon, like a set weapon you would use, and then, I don't know, discard it or something. But she just found this as she found Goodman, so, objection? Yes. Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edwards' trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there?
The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people?
What is a kid doing in here? We already had one kid in here. We don't need another one. The defense has a request. We ask the witness to provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony,
You stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Oh, got her. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Yes. Got him. Order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Yep, of course, and here comes Edgeworth.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie.
Ooh, I love me some pie, but I prefer cake. What?
I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail.
But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory.
Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
Yep. I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Phoenix is having major doubts. Angel's deduction. Okay. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Again and again? Hold on a sec.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? I hope not.
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Alright, well, I think I already figured it out, because I think in the autopsy it says that he died from one knife wound, yes. So, that's wrong. Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Anyway, here we go. Objection, please. Thank you. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Ew, this just looks like a bunch of peas, really. I really can't say anything about that. I'm afraid that moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound.
Uh-huh. You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right? Ooh, that looks good, too.
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw and what you thought was blood. Testify.
Okay. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. But wait, in the picture... Red muffler, not this picture, but the other picture though. She's not wearing a muffler. A muffler is a scarf, I think, right? So, she's not wearing one. Objection, please. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. Yep.
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady would be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Oh my god, that hurt. Hurtful.
Harsh words, but good.
It's the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver? Poor Phoenix. Never can catch a break.
But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Okay. Apprehending the suspect. What happened that whole time?
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The child prosecutor. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
Okay.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites.
The research is real.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
Okie doke. We probably gotta press some more stuff, because I really didn't see anything contradictory yet. So, let's see. So, where is this partition on the floor plans?
I'm sure she means this wall next to the car.
That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
Okay. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Hold it. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. Press it. Always press for details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was...
She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block.
So you witnessed a murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Star?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! The comfort queen. Lunch lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? I don't know. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Hold it. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word?
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean. Ask further. Keep asking. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at this crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
Well, no, the court doesn't see, Miss Star.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone?
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
Alright. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Okie dokie. Let's see. I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Hold it. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm running out of battery.
Uh-huh. I was just going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies.
Oh, okay, so she went over the wall. Huh?
The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket.
And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence.
Oh, wow.
Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, because if that was the case, this big old wall, like right next to the telephone, she couldn't have seen that. So, can we object to that? Yes, we can. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye.
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. Exactly, the big old wall is right there. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie the witness has told the court.
Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw, where she saw it, the order of events. She lied about where she saw it, obviously. I just thought of that. Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What was significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it.
Pointless to lie? I see.
But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we heard up until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. It would have to be in here because that's where, like, nearest the phone. So, here you go. This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room?
Indeed, the security room was underground parking lot as well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony, you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Whoa, it is thundering out there. This is not the perfect time to be thundering and lightning out there.
Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Star lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What?
If the witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this.
She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
Okay.
Someone tell us what the reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? With me?
Who else?
Nice. Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Okay. Oh, now it's raining out there. Miss Star witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? The angle of the view of the crime, the distance, or the difference in lightning. Or lighting, I should say. I think go do distance. Seems more logical. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she would see.
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Star, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness?
You...
Yes?
Ooh, squid rings. You ordered the squid wheels, right? Close enough. The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I'll still eat it. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station.
Oh, I didn't even see this whole thing. That's a bigger part of the map.
And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
So she had to run oh man. She had to run all the way over there and then hop the fence. If she did this in heels, this is a remarkable feat. That pun intended, feat.
Sorry. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
Dang, she booked it then.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
I remember sporks. Sporks were like the thing back in elementary school, especially for mac and cheese. Wonder where you can find them. You could probably still buy them at the store or something.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you had to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection.
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you had the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah!
Yeah, she just kind of, I guess she was meant to get caught.
Well then, it seems we come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness. Is the next witness ready to go?
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Thank God. No, of course. Hold it. Always a last-minute interruption. This case is making me sweat. I got sweat in my eye. It burns. Why does it do that? Ow.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off of me. I prefer to not take the defense's team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Mr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Just because she got baited with lunch. One more thing. Decisive evidence.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up?
No.
2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One of course, was the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
Okay.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Oh my God. Objection. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
Oh my God. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
I seem so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Alright, victim's shoe. White enamel shoe. Bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Alright, let's check it out, actually. We can do that, right? Yes we can. Alright, shoe time. Let's check this out. Does it stink? It better not stink. Whoa, didn't see that. More sweat got in my eye. It burns.
There's blood here too!
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood, it's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue. Okay. About this blood.
This blood is my sister's, right?
It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Poor sis.
Okay, I guess that's all we're gonna get from that. Let me wipe my eye, because my eye is like literally suffering. I feel so much better. Anyway, let's cross-examine this womany woman. Alright, decisive evidence. So, let's see here. 2 types of blood. Yeah, we saw. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Usually when people say that, it's not true. So let's see. I need to see it again. So that's the the victim's blood. So let's see the pick, maybe. And whose shoe was it? Is it hers? I think it's hers. I hope. So if that's the case, there's no footprints. If she had blood on the of the victim, she would leave footprints, and there are no footprints. Objection. Thank you. Shut up, Red Joy-Con. I know I'm losing battery. Unfortunately for you, this shoe is far from being perfect evidence. What? This shoe directly contradicts what we know about the crime. The shoe doesn't fit. Shut up. Order. You're claiming there's a contradiction with this shoe. Uh-huh. As I said, the shoe doesn't fit what we know about the scene of the crime.
Very well, let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say about the shoe. What would this shoe contradict what we know about the crime? Show us the problem with this evidence.
Well, obviously, the blood. Take that. The problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe was covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found at the scene of the crime?
Uh-huh.
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Oh my god, such a fight. I would love to be in court right now with these two.
Order. Well, witness?
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Hold it. Edgeworth said it.
I see. Now I get it.
Get what?
Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth of her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about the apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
She kicked.
I thought it was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do.
No kidding.
Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Oh no, that means she erased the footprints if that was the case.
Water? What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Uh-huh. You don't mean. Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that will become evidence against her.
No, that was right.
That ties up things quite nicely. The bloodstains left on this victim's shoes are tied quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase telltale signs.
Why, that's the prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
But Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do?
Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But...
Enough! There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star's on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky.
No! Hold it. Oh, she said it.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
That looks delicious.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you'll be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
Oh dear. Oh man. Oh, so it is his shoe.
A photograph?
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error on this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. Ugh. Throwing in the towel already? I'm sorry, Mia. Aw. No, don't give up. Oh, that was Mia.
Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for the good.
Wait. Judgy, please. Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't, and it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying that there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I got to go ahead with this.
I suppose we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph.
Well, I did see that right off the bat, so what is this? The problem in this photograph is here.
What's this?
Oh, that was Edgeworth. There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor?
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf in any kind of this photograph.
A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see. And I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much as in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case.
Well, from the phone, right? The word muffler was overheard during a call. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler.
Yeah. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth was vital evidence. Yay! Yay! Not guilty.
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, but here we do a disservice to the law. Have a car at the crime scene expected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict won't wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. Whew. That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry? To be continued. Oh wow, we actually made it. I'm surprised. That's cool, because last time in my last recording session, I didn't make it. So we're going to save right here and then continue on, of course. Trial former, that's new. Save, please. And trial ladder. Okay, so I guess this is like technically part 2 of day 1 court, if anything. So I'm going to leave it off there. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Also, comment and subscribe to get new feed on videos and become a member of the Cuckoo Crew today. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter so you can recommend other video games for me to play or chat, your preference. Also, if you subscribe, be sure to tap that bell to get notifications on videos so you'll never miss one from me ever again. But that's going to be it from Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the next episode, we'll see him back in court after the judge gets his lunch, I suppose, because he's still hungry after, I guess, like 5 boxes of lunch. But hey, I'm like that too. So I will see you then. Amateur out.